Hej og velkommen til Vinyl-reisen. Norway, a land of fjords, islands and Vikings. However, you would be mistaken if you believed that that was all Norway was famous for. World-class contributors to the field of arts, with world-class painters like Edvard Munch and his famous painting, The Scream. Or what about playwright Henrik Ibsen and his fantastic The Doll's House? Or else we can look to the world of sport, current goal-scoring machine and national treasure Erling Haaland. But again, there's one Norwegian who until this moment has flown under the radar. Yeah, we are talking about YouTube creator, esteemed cartoonist, music enthusiast, craft beer lover, and all-round good guy, Morten Aastad.
Morten, Aastad, brave and strong, sailing seas where we belong. Fight the storm all night long, Viking heart, a warrior's song.
So Morten's running a contest, a push to 650 subs, which he will manage no problem at all, but he needs your help. So go over to Morten's channel, give it a watch, subscribe. It's full of great content. He's got a great taste in music, very eclectic, and he's got a good sense of humour as well. So go over and support Morten's channel. Now the prize for the contest is a record, and it's not any old record. So one of his friends is in a band called Tusmorka, and they've got an album called Hestehoven, and that is the prize for the contest. It's really good. Gave it a listen last week, and it's like kind of folk prog, really interesting, something that sounds quite different to maybe what you would normally listen to. So yeah, it's really cool. But like I said, go over to Morten's channel and subscribe. You will not regret it. So the first part of Morten's contest was easy. It was simply to subscribe to his channel. I'd already did that, so job done. Question 2 was much harder. That was a bit of a head scratcher, but I like a challenge. Morten had asked us to show an artist or musician that came from Norwegian ancestry. So it should be a musician or an artist who lived outside of Norway, preferably from your own country. Try as I might, I couldn't find a Scottish musician who came from Norwegian stock, and that wasn't for want of trying, but I just couldn't find anyone. So I had to look outside the box a little bit, and I ended up going for Beck. Obviously, Beck's American. I think he lives in Los Angeles. But if you look at Beck's ancestry, his mum was known as Bibi Hansen, and she came from Norwegian ancestry. Beck's real name was Beck David Campbell, and Beck's father, or his father's side of the family, were from Scottish stock. So Beck was in fact part Scottish, part Norwegian. So I thought that fit quite well. And I'm a massive Beck fan. I love Beck. This is the only bit of Beck vinyl I've got though, the where it's at, 12-inch from Odelay. I'd like to get more on vinyl, but the problem is I've got loads of it on CD, and they're albums that I've heard so many times. But there's a few that I'll pick up in vinyl because I don't have. Now, just to show a little bit more Beck, these are probably my two favourite Beck albums. It'd be difficult to decide between the two of them. I love Midnight Vultures, and I know it kind of polarised critics when it was released. Some loved it, some thought it was not as good as Odelay, but I loved it. If push come to shove, I would probably still plump for Odelay, and then Mutations that came out after this I love as well, but yeah, these would probably be my two favourites. So there we go, Beck Hansen. The next part of the challenge then was to introduce 3 people to Morten's channel. So I think Morten's got very eclectic taste. You never are quite sure what he's going to show, which I really like. So I thought I would choose 3 people who also have eclectic taste in music. The first person may already be subscribed to Morten. That is JT at JT Record Room. He's over in the States, in Nevada. He's got a great channel, really interesting digs that he goes on and digging up different bargains. He's got some great stories about gigs that he's been to in the past and little music related stories. And like I said, very eclectic taste, so I'm sure that he would enjoy Morten's channel and likewise. The second person is Katie Cords over in Australia, and she has a new channel, but again, very eclectic taste. She talks about everything from Joni Mitchell to Herbie Hancock to rare psych like Fraction Moonblood that had just been re-released. And yeah, I've really enjoyed her channel so far. It's been really excellent, and she's very passionate as well when she talks about records, which is really cool. The third person is Stephanie West from the States as well. She's got very eclectic taste as well. She's into a lot of post-punk, new wave, classic rock, so it's a really cool channel as well. And I'm sure that she would enjoy Morten's channel, and again, likewise. So I'll put the links to all of those channels in the description. Go check them out. And guys, if you want to do it, have a go at Morten's contest. Now, the final part of the contest was a little bit easier. So Morten was born in 1971. So what he'd asked us to do was to either show an album that was released in 1971 or show an album from an artist who was born in 1971. So I decided to show an album that was released in that year. And originally I was going to go for the band Saft, and the album was called Horn. They're a Norwegian prog band, but I don't have a physical copy of that. I really, really would like to get one. But instead I chose a Danish band, and it is Burning Red Ivanhoe. And this is their fourth album, WWW, from 1971 on Dandelion Records, John Peel's record label. I think John Peel was a big fan. But yeah, I absolutely love this. A great, great prog album. There's the inner gatefold. It's full of like amazing saxophone. There's some really, really nice flute. I like the finger picking guitar on that first song. It is Second Floor Croydon. That was written about the hotel that the band stayed in when they were playing over in England. But yeah, a couple of good instrumentals. Abbes Vu Kaskalainen and Kaska Vu Karsamosa. But then it goes into a song called All About All, which is really, really cool. It's a really catchy prog song. It's got great saxophone in it. Absolutely love it. In fact, those last three songs, I love all of them. Oblong Serenade is great as well. It's got some great sax in it, and then some lovely flute and Cucumber Porcupine. But yeah, great stuff. Burning Red Ivanhoe. I got this a couple of years ago from a lady in Newcastle. And when she was telling me about the different albums she had, she mentioned Burning Red Ivanhoe a couple of times in her very, very strong Geordie accent. So whenever I think of the name Burning Red Ivanhoe, I always think of it with a Geordie accent, which is kind of strange considering they're a Danish band. But yeah, it's a really, really cool album. I love this album. I'd like to get more of their stuff. To be honest, this is the only one I've heard, but it's really, really good. So there we go. That is my album from 1971, the year of your birth. Morten. It is WWW, Burning Red Ivanhoe. So that just leaves me to say then, get over, support Morten and his channel, subscribe. If you've got a YouTube channel yourself, do his contest. It's not an easy contest. It's probably the most difficult one I think that I've did so far. It really had me thinking, but it was really enjoyable, an enjoyable contest to do. Now, just one thing before I go. The area that I'm from originally in Scotland, in the west of Scotland, I come from a town called Gourock, which is about 10 miles away from a little town called Largs. Now, the reason I mention Largs is that it's steeped in Viking history, because in 1263 it was the site of the Battle of Largs between the Viking army and the Scots army, and the Vikings had come across on their longboats, and it was the culmination of like 500 years of invasions, which the Scots managed to, with the help of a storm, managed to repel the Norwegian forces, and it kind of ended 500 years of war. The reason I mention it is because there's this big, one of my earliest memories as a child is this big monument called the Pencil, and that was built as a reminder of the Battle of Largs. And it kind of got me thinking, what if the Norwegians had actually won? What if the Norwegian forces had kind of spread across the west of Scotland? Myself and Morten could have been brothers. Who knows? Until the next time, had Edinburgh.
Hoist the sail, ride the gale, Morten knows the way. Ocean deep, secrets keep, far from night to day. Waves crash high in the sky, Morten's eyes like fire. Golden shield on the field, Viking dreams inspire. Morten, Aastad, brave and strong, sailing seas where we belong. Fight the storm all night long, Viking heart, a warrior's song.